We're getting started on another clearing job. This is a pretty small one. I'm gonna run the mulcher on this stuff here. It's just kudzu and just some brush at the base of that tree. And then down in here, starting here up to right there, this little triangle here, it doesn't go deep at all. There's a fence. If you see that line of kudzu right there, that's actually a fence in there. It comes up there. We're gonna mulch all of that in there so he can mow it with the bush hog. And we will go down in these woods here with the mulcher and all the thin little stuff. I'm gonna chew that up, make it so he can mow in there. And then this cluster of stuff here, we are gonna be mulching also. There's a possibility, there was a single wide trailer sitting here at one point before he owned the land, and he's thinking that there's possibly a septic tank in here. And if we're gonna kind of, you know, clean all this stuff up and scrape around and see if we can find it. If we can, we'll get rid of that. But yeah, so this was going to be just forestry mulching, all that stuff I just showed you, this cluster here, and then all this brush here, thinning it out. But in here, there's this oak tree that's dead, and all these pine trees, those are all dead. So what we were going to do was just go through here and mulch the ground brush on the bottom. It goes down in there. His property goes fairly deep back there. But it's we're gonna get all that little brushy stuff down there mulched, but all these trees and then this whole area here, there's some, I wouldn't call them boulders, but there's some large rocks in there, and there's some large rocks and concrete and trash and stuff in here. And then also you can see at one point, I think this was like some type of garden or something, because there's these rocks all along the edge here, small rocks out here along the edge. They go about to there, and so I think this was a garden bed, and then there's some bigger rocks in there. So I was like, instead of running the mulcher through here and not getting it smoothed out completely, leaving the rocks and stuff, we'll just turn this into a mulching and clearing job. So we're gonna bunch all this stuff up probably somewhere right around here and burn it, and push over all those trees, burn them, and yeah, it should be a pretty small job. A lot of people have been asking where we've been, because we haven't posted a video in a long time, and it's actually takes a good bit of effort to keep the YouTube channel running and keep this video footage going. In the winter, it's not too hard, because you know, it gets dark at 5 o'clock, and you know, it's pretty easy to go home and edit some video, spend some time doing that, because you know, we got 3 kids, and whenever it's dark and cold, there's not really much going on after dark. In the summer, in the summertime, you know, if there's any parents on here, you understand, the day doesn't end at 5. You know, the kids want to go to the pool in the afternoon, or they want to go do whatever, and so, you know, you got to put aside time for family. So just kind of haven't really had time, and after working all day in 105 degrees and you know, going home, doing family stuff, get the kids down later, and you know, at that time, it's just, I'm pretty much done at that point, and don't have the energy to spend several hours putting together a YouTube video and loading it and everything. But some people are messaging us asking what happened to the YouTube channel, where we've been, are we still working? Yes, we're still working, we're still very busy. Not much has changed since the last, I think the beaver dam video, the blowing up a beaver dam. If you haven't seen that, go check that out. But that's the last video we posted. The only thing that's really changed is we got this trailer. It's a 20-ton air brake trailer, so that's nice. I can move the excavator around myself with the tandem dump truck. And if we have any jobs where it makes more sense, we'll still use Donnie to move it around with the lowboy. But for doing all of our local stuff and, you know, little jobs like this, small ticket items, it's just a lot easier dealing with this and not having the extra expense of the tractor trailer moving the machine until we get our own lowboy down the road at some point. Yeah. But anyways, that's where we've been. We've still been busy doing a bunch of work, just haven't really had time to put effort into YouTube. But it's, you know, towards the end of the summer now, so hopefully we'll be able to get back on it. But I really just wanted to give an update on where we've been and get another video out for you. I've got probably 6 or 7 videos worth of footage that I need to put together to load. So whenever you see some videos, they may have snow in them, or you know, there's no leaves on the trees. That's because I recorded them towards the end of the winter, and then it got real hot, and you know, life happens. So this trailer is pretty cool. It's a tilt trailer. You flip that switch and it flips that ramp up there, drive the machine back, and it just tilts and rolls right off here. Pretty cool. But we'll get this thing greased up and unloaded and get to clearing. That trailer's pretty cool. I was kind of skeptical about the get down there. Kind of skeptical about it being a tilt trailer. My grease out. About it being a tilt trailer. You know, if it was going to be sketchy loading and unloading a machine this size, but it's actually you know, it's not as sturdy as a lowboy, obviously, because lowboy's pretty flat and it's sitting on the ground, so it doesn't rock or anything. This one takes a little bit more skill because you've got to know where to park the truck. You don't want to park anywhere off camber or anything like that, because you are on the suspension and the, you know, the air tires, so it can rock back and forth. But for, you know, for this area here, unloading and loading in a road, it's completely fine. And yeah, it's got these pads, these diamond plate with some square stock welded on it up here, and it's real nice. Whenever the tracks grab a hold of that, it'll go right up. I need to put something like that down here, because if it's on any kind of incline and wet and stuff like this, sometimes it doesn't grab up here and it'll start spinning here, the tracks will, and it's wanting to you know, it just kind of makes a mess. So I think I'm going to build some track pads like that, put them down here, and probably put a couple bars across this, so the bars on the tracks have something to grab onto to pull up. But I'm getting the machine greased up. this massive drought that we're coming out of right now. For a long time, we weren't able to burn anything, and then even when the burn ban was lifted, it still wasn't a good idea to burn because it was just so dry. These rocks right here we're going to put aside for the homeowner wants to do something with them, and then the bigger ones that we find, we're going to put them up by the entrance of the driveway here. They got a nice long gravel driveway, and the boulders that are in here, the big rocks, will look nice out there at the road. But it was very hot and dry for a while because we had no rain for a long time. All the second worst drought we've had in the past almost 20 years. But the lakes were down real low. Everything was low. Now it's we've been getting rain after rain, so it's cooled down a little bit. It's still hot out, but it's very, very humid now. Make sure to get all the roots and little stumps out, and then we'll take the skid steer and grate it, get it real nice and smooth. Find the old septic tank, that's probably where all these rocks are going to go, and there's some I think he said there's some brick pillars over in that section. We'll just put all that debris in there and use that to backfill and implode the septic tank, get rid of it. Thomas is back at the yard getting he had to go do a little job this morning on his own, and he's getting the skid steer and the mulcher with the bucket, so he can do that forestry mulching over there and smooth this area out, move the rocks up to the driveway, and all the skid steer work. The customer, he said his buddy wanted this wood here for firewood, but pretty old and molded and mushroomy and rotten. By the time you buck it and start splitting it, whenever it's old and rotted like that, it just kind of breaks apart in pieces. Not even worth the effort, really. Here's the first big rock. Kind of brush right here, if we were mulching this stuff makes really good mulch. Super brushy material. Very gratifying to mulch. It's real easy on the machine, and it makes a lot of good fine material. Good ground cover. Privets and stuff like that are great. Boulders. This sandstone's hard to move around without damaging. It's so it's like concrete. Boulder number 3, and I think this is the last one. Oh, I just found a septic tank. There's the lid of it. He was right. Part of it. Now the question is it full of sewage? And if it is, I'm going to have my septic guy come pump it out. So that way I'm not just overflowing a whole tank full of sewage all over the yard here. I don't don't really want to smell that, and I'm sure the homeowner doesn't either. There's another one. Yep, there's the other lid. There's usually 2 lids on the tank. There's 1 and 2. Those are just the risers, or if that's the actual lid. Sometimes they have risers with a concrete cap on it, and then down in there is down in under there is the actual lid to the tank itself. Side, we'll use that to backfill them. What you do is, if they're full of material, sewage, what I usually do is pump it empty. And then implode them, crush them down into the bottom, and take any solid materials that I've got, like these rocks that I've been pulling up, and any chunks of concrete or anything like that that's real hard. There's some brick in there, and just pack it with good fill dirt, real solid in there, so it doesn't create a sinkhole. He said there's absolutely no plans of ever building anything right here. If there was, we could dig the tanks out entirely and then bring in fill and compact it and do that, but they're never going to build here. Pretty sure those are risers. Yep, there's the lid. And then down in there is the tank, and they are full. I just saw splash. So you can see right here where my tooth is. I'm gonna just rip the rebar out. But that's the access to the tanks right there. Well, we got the septic guy coming out. He should be here in a few hours. Pump that tank empty, and we can implode it. Moving on to this second part of the project here. Thomas is here with the mulcher. Started on the mulching stuff. I'm going to kind of rake through this part and This is all stuff that he can mulch here easily. There's not really a bunch of trash in here. Oh, there's Copperhead. There you go, take care of that. Pretty dead, and the ground's pretty soft, so there she goes. That's wild. The amount of rain we had over the past couple days, and it's still dry under this thing. There's like some brick columns in here that are trash, but they are perfect for backfilling that septic. Mortar and concrete we need to get rid of anyways. Like all the trash is out of here, so I'll let Thomas mulch the rest of this stuff. Gotta push over these last bigger trees here, and then all the rest of this brush Thomas can mulch. There's actually sitting water in here. I guess that makes sense why these pine trees here died. They're just sitting in a hole. I'm surprised they lasted as long as they did. Not going to be hard to push any of these trees over. And figure out what we're going to do about all this groundwater, though. See what the back side of this hole looks like, if I can dig it out. It's going downhill there, but I don't know what we got going on here. We just had a bunch of rain yesterday, but there's like 2 feet of water sitting here. I think once I get this area opened up, I ought to be able to cut some ditch in here. And probably this water is recent, because these trees were, I think if this water has been like this forever, these trees wouldn't have died, or these trees wouldn't have been here. Trees don't grow in ponds. Pipe. Let's see what's going on here while I'm digging up PVC pipe in this wooded area and so much sitting water. Alright, so I just talked to the property owner. They are out of town right now, which I knew. This was supposed to be just one of those quick, easy jobs. You know, like not even a day of clearing, and then, you know, burn some of this stuff up and be done with it. But it looks like there are more buried treasures than just the septic, which we kind of knew about. I just got off the phone with him, told him about, sent him pictures of this, and I was like, this, I think this sitting water is fairly new, because these pine trees here are probably 30 years old, and they just recently died. So he said that they did a ton of grading and stuff back here behind the house. They said they brought in like 100 loads of dirt, and I'm thinking what happened was there was some way for this water that's here to drain, and whoever graded behind their house, I'd be willing to bet they, as you can see right through here, now that I open that up, that's their backyard, that grass you see through the trees. So I would be willing to bet what happened was whoever graded that pushed up a bunch of stuff into a ditch or something that kind of made this a low area. And so now the water has nowhere to go. And it would make sense that it, in doing that, recently killed these pine trees. Tree here. Yeah. Tom is calling me. A good bit of water in there. It's all running out. This just runs downhill kind of that way. Why I turned it this way so it wasn't coming in here where I am, because this is a low spot. You can kind of see it spilling in there a little bit, but it'll all drain out there. But that was, I mean, see it running. It's been going for a few minutes now. You can see the water line on that tree. It's real soft in here. It's gone down about a foot already. Thomas is mulching up that old dead pine tree I pushed in. I'll take all this trash and it'll go in the burn pile over there, along with that big log there, that big log there. And then there's got to push all these over here and start cleaning up. You see all this concrete. I want to be careful I don't step on copperheads, but you can see that's a big chunk of concrete right there. And that's a perfect size pile to, after I clear all these trees out, just dig all this stuff and push it in that low spot, and put some dirt over top of it and grow grass. It's still running. We got a bunch of this cleaned up. Thomas will go in there and mulch the rest of that once I'm out of the way. He's over working by the fence line with the mulcher now. This area is still draining there. I'll let it drain a little bit more before I push the trees over. Just get as much water out as I can. This big oak tree here, I'm working on getting the dirt out of the roots. This thing's got to burn entirely. The tree is wasn't in the best of shape, and the outside of it's a little rotted and should burn pretty good, but the core of it is definitely still alive. It's solid. Have a ton of material to burn here. It's not like we're clearing an acre or anything. You kind of need a certain amount of brush to burn a stump this size. Still got those trees to come down, and I think that'll probably be enough. Oh, we got a gusher. Hydraulic line leak. Yeah, I think something came in here and knocked one of those lines. These are for the quick connect, quick attach, whatever, and I'm I just replaced one of them. See, this one's new, that one's old. I guess I should have got another one made because I got to go about 35 minutes away to get those just because of the type of line it is. I don't remember where they are, but I have caps. I've got caps for that to cap it off. Just gotta remember where I put them. I think they may be in the service trailer at the yard. So I may be going to get lunch. We'll see what we can do about that. Well, I put the caps on these fittings. That'll get me by. I don't need to change the bucket out anyways, so the quick coupler doesn't have to work. But unfortunately, it leaked out so much that I'm low on hydraulic fluid now. It's not even showing on there. There should be hydraulic fluid in this area and it's not even showing down there. So it could be right here, it could be down there, not sure, but it's a very expensive hydraulic system. So if I just keep running it and it cavitates and wears out the hydraulic pump, it's not really something that I want to deal with. We're not going to finish this job today anyway, so I thought I had some fluid in the truck, but I do not. So, and it takes a special type of fluid, so I'm gonna have to go to the dealership and get it. But we're just waiting on the septic guy, and we'll watch Thomas do some forestry mulching in the meantime. That's all that kudzu and stuff that I piled up over there. I just chew through it. Making compost. Septic guy is here. Thomas found a friend. A green snake. I don't know what those are called. Is it called like a grass snake or something?
Tree snake, right?
Is it a tree snake? Better hope that's not a black mamba. Well, we got the tanks pumped out. They're emptied. Relatively easy. Got the septic tank all imploded and backfilled, a bunch of concrete and junk in there, and then probably a good 18 inches of fill dirt and topsoil and everything else packed in there. It's pretty solid under there. Pounded it in and run the machine over it and everything. These are gonna go down in there once I push those trees over. We got to get rid of these things somewhere. That was some strong brick. Whatever that was made out of was very strong. Normally when I hit these things with the bucket, they just crumble, but that is some That's some strong brick there. But we'll take those down there in that hole where the water is. We'll maybe dig it a little deeper and bury those in there to raise it up, and so we're gonna need a lot in that low area. But that's it for today. We will be back out here